so obscene. No script, no filter, I speak what I see. Every angle, every side, it's all real to me. I dig through the noise, cut through the lies. Facts over feelings, I'm sharp like a knife. Small time streamer, no fame, no crown, but my voice is my own, I won't back down. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. Got a webcam flicker and a beat in my chest. Bass takes in my veins, spilling facts is my quest. I'm breaking the mold, no mainstream appeal. Just a kid with a dream and a heart made of steel. I sift through the data, the left and the right. No bias, no agenda, just seeking the light. They laugh at my setup, my low res stream, but my words cut deeper than the corporate screen. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. I'm the spark in the dark, the glitch in the code. Carving my lane on this uncharted road. Million subs, no viral fame, but I'm owning the truth and I'm changing the game. I'll scream till my lungs give out, till the signal's dead. Every word that I speak is the blood that I bled. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. That's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough.
All right, let's see if the microphone cuts out or not. I already unplugged it once to see if it's gonna have any effect or not, but we will see. Yes, guys, I am not dead. I am alive. It's kind of a miracle. In fact, I should probably double check and make sure that I don't have the freaking audio echoing from the webcam, because I haven't actually adjusted that recently. Those are the best and they love garlic. Do goth girls love garlic? I don't know. To be fair, when I was a teenager, I only knew like 2 or 3 goth girls, and I didn't really hang out with them. Goth girls were something that I I discovered that I might have had a bit of a attraction to later in life. Nice and loud. Okay, hang on a second. Let me turn this down. Is that a little bit better? Not quite so booming. I swear to God, I think it's okay. So my kids have typically, they'll play like a game together on the other computer, Xbox and Nintendo, but the Nintendo runs like ass. And so my boy twin, the younger son, he's been using my computer when they play together during the day. Vampires hate garlic cake. It's the oldest, you know. Hey, Twin Dad. Everyone's on YouTube. Yeah, I don't, dude, honestly, I was actually thinking of getting rid of my Twitch entirely. The only reason, in fact, I haven't been streaming to Twitch. The only reason I'm even on Twitch right now is because it occurred to me that 5 years ago, no, sorry, 6 years ago, 2019, sometime in September, I want to say is when I got affiliated. Maybe it was back in April of 2019. I can't remember. But no, I think I started my account. I started my Twitch account in April 2019. I think I got affiliated in September. I feel like that sounds about right. So it's kind of like a 6-year-ish anniversary of sorts, I guess. I don't know. But I'll probably be done streaming on Twitch again after this stream, just because this is kind of like kumbaya for old time's sake, whatnot. This is better, Jordan. You are over here with all the other... I'm not going to say anything mean. I like everybody here. Ish, yeah. Just so happened to have got here. I know, Cage, you were paged. Yeah, I see my microphone is in the red. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why. Yo, Jordan, the beard has gotten even bigger, man. I don't know what to do with this. It's like I could either cut the whole thing off and start over. Let me see what's going on with my microphone. I typically have the volume turned a little bit lower than this, so let's see what's going on. But yes, guys, I am moving at some point in the next week and a half. The wife and I found a place that is not too much more money than we're paying now. And it's going to be amazing compared to what we're dealing with for the little bit of extra money. Trim it. I wasn't going to call anybody else degenerates, Jordan. But yes, you read my mind. Latest Battlefield 6 trailer, goated. I have it brought up. I've got so much stuff to go over, dude. Maybe it's because my volume is set at 100 on here. Let's turn this down a little bit. We'll drop microphone down to 80 on the Windows settings. trim it into a nice little goatee. I don't know, man. My older brothers both had goatees at different points. And I don't want to look like either one of my older brothers. The oldest one in particular, the one I don't talk to. And so, I got one of the cats and the dog out here sleeping. Cool. That's a beard who knows about beard oils and balm. I use the beard oil. I don't do the balm so much. But yeah, I eat beard oil twice a day. School had a bunch of emo goths, cutters, etc. They love garlic. Fair enough. Hey, Susano. No. Not moving to Texas. Not yet. Eventually. I sound fine? Okay, I'll stop messing with the sound settings then. Hey, Virgil. So, no, so I rent an apartment right now, and it's been the same apartment we've been in for like 9 years. We're going on 10 years in the same apartment. And before that, we were in another apartment in our complex for 2 years-ish. So we've been in this apartment complex for like 12 years. And we went from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom as our family expanded. But I've got a 12-year-old boy who's bigger than me, and my twins, who are 10, sharing a room, right? So I've got one kid in one room and 2 in the other. And we just can't. We can't do it anymore. And with the amount of rent that we're paying right now, it's like for a little bit more money, I can get the kids twice as much space, put them all in their own room, get a garage, 3-car garage, which is insane. Temu Dollar Store Kratos. Yeah, and it doesn't help, NS, that I haven't been to a gym. Well, I got to the gym a week ago. Just about a week ago. Summertime, ironically, even though my kids had spring baseball that bled into All-Stars and crazy work schedule, I was at least getting to the gym once or twice a week. I haven't physically worked out beyond work in probably like one time in like the last month and a half. Minimal growth hormones. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't got no HGH over here. No steroids, none of that. Just pure adrenaline and testosterone coursing through my tiny little body. $4 on Skull and Bones. That's $4 too much, man. Is that like Peter Griffin, Chris Griffin scenario? No, he's just taller. No, he's not. He's not fat. I'm not fat. He's not fat. He could get fat if he's not careful. Like my oldest kid, he could definitely put on weight. He's a big guy. He's gonna be. He loves sports. He's actually been playing field. He loves playing first base on baseball, but like he's stellar at freaking outfield. Last couple of games, he's made some crazy plays, robbing some guys of big hits and stuff. But no, he's got big broad shoulders, and he still wants to wrestle me. And it's like he tries to take me down. I'm like, dude, you might be bigger than me, you might be younger than me, but you're a kid. And I had 3 older brothers. So like growing up, I'm scrappy. You're gonna have to get a lot bigger than your dad to take him down. So yeah, I think $4 for Skull and Bones is probably too much still, but who knows? It might be worth it. Yeah, Lucia, it's gonna be interesting. And thanks, I appreciate it. Hey Jordan, you don't want to hop on a flight and help me move in a week, do you? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My mom, she's offered. She said she knows some people. I know that my in-laws have offered. We have some friends. Big guy. He'll probably do more heavy lifting than I will. So we should be okay. Oh, no, I remember that now. His leg, yeah. They did the same thing on Just Shoot Me with David Spade's character, where they found out that David Spade, even though he's like 4 feet tall, was like seriously hung. Am I still gonna be streaming while moving out? Probably not. So here's kind of like the I like you have money. No. See, it would be on me. I've got air miles that I'm probably never gonna use. That I got from flying to Arizona. So I would fly you out. But no, you've got babies, man. You got shit to do. Don't worry about it. No, so Lugia, the funny thing is we didn't know how quickly this would happen. We put the application in on this place. Oh, let me restart. Hang on a second. Let me check out. Oh my God, that's pretty funny. No, actually, it's really funny too because somebody was asking about HOA, and I would never try to buy in the town that I'm in because it's too freaking expensive, like way the hell too expensive. But we had been looking at 4-bedroom houses because we needed to get a house that had enough rooms for all the kids to have their own room. And what happened was that day that we had been kind of like giving up on specific like stay in our area and all that kind of crap, I told my wife, adjust it for 3-bedroom and then we'll look for places that have like a bonus room or a loft or whatever. And she actually did that, and within minutes sent me a listing to a place that had just been listed a week before, had 3 rooms and a loft, and it's a nice big loft. Like my son, he's gonna have a huge area to himself. And so we scheduled a viewing to go see it, a showing. And the morning before our showing, I got an email that they dropped the price. And then I was like, okay, can we get the showing today? So we went and saw it on Thursday instead of Friday. Did the application Friday morning. And they got 2/3 of the information that they needed before the weekend even hit. And then Monday morning, they got the information they needed from my landlord about my rental history, and they approved us today. So, oh, dude, Cage, I'm over the moon. I'm also stressed because the way this worked out, I'm month to month where I'm at now. So the problem is my current landlord, although we've been here for almost 12 years, there's no loyalty. There's no, you've been good to us, we'll scratch your back here. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, is there any way you guys can kind of like just give us an extra week, prorate us so we can get moved out like mid-October? And he's like, well, technically you have to give 20 days notice. And 20 days notice would, for you at this point, would be by October 11th, but you still have to pay for the whole month of October, right? It's a murder house? No, I'm not buying. It's a rental. If I was buying, I'd try to buy a murder house, probably. One of those situations where you go to a police auction and buy a car or a watch that some like drug dealer had or something. No. Yeah, so the situation we're in now is trying to figure out how to finagle getting our current landlord to let us leave early without paying for a whole month. So the way I left it with him earlier today, he was supposed to email me back, and then tomorrow morning I have to call the new landlord so we can tell them what our move-in day is going to be. sign the lease, and then we have to have the lease signed. It has to be for within 2 weeks of our approval period. So the furthest I can push it out is like the 10th or the 12th or whatever. So we're probably going to have some overlap where I pay rent both places. But at least, it's something. Yeah, Jordan, I'm stressed. I am beyond excited, and I mean, it's just tell them to come outside. I want to talk. Well, the problem is that these are apartments. You got to remember, they don't have any, like, the gal that was here, that was the manager when we first moved in, she's retired or switched jobs years ago, and she was worthless anyways. And so even though I've been here forever, Land Chad, no, man, not in this situation. I don't hate landlords. I'm not like one of them socialists who's like, oh, landlords are evil. But it is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, the current like housing market is jacked up, man. It's terrible. I know, Truth. I have been inundated with life. I was gonna stream last Wednesday, and then I was like, okay, it's fine. We're busy this Wednesday. I'll stream on Friday. And then Friday came around, and I don't remember what came up. And then, oh, it's because Friday we were gonna do the showing on the house. That's what it was. So, my landlord's evil. Well, my landlord, I'm not going to say that this apartment complex, that they're evil, but they are certainly worthless when it comes to actually dealing with anything that has to be resolved. They finally, after 5 years of having my downstairs neighbors who were a bunch of crackhead criminals, after years of having their vehicles broken down in the parking lot, 3 of them with no licensing on them, not able to move, flat tires, rusted wheels, the whole thing. They finally made them tow all 3 of them like 2 weeks ago or something. But they still have these gigantic dogs that run around the yard. They dig up the yard. They kill the grass. They're always off leashes. I have to like pick my dog up and carry him out of the way so they don't attack him. It's crazy. All she does is threaten to sell the house out from under me that I'm renting, so I'll just stop whining. Dude, that's jacked up, man. Ooh, we're getting blurry. That's another thing I'm looking forward to. If we can get the little office area at the house, it won't be in my living room. So I'll have to figure out the setup for the streaming and recording and all that kind of stuff. Basically, the wife and I, we're going to take our 2 computers and we're going to share the office. But, she won't be in there when I'm streaming and all that stuff anyways. Buy her a cheap wine, spike it, then rob her house in Minecraft. Well, if you're doing Minecraft, you could just use creepers to blow the house up. Yeah, not all landlords. Yeah, I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, landlords are evil. We have to abolish the entire practice. I just wish that buying a house, owning a house was just not so freaking complicated anymore. That's all I hope. Glad to live in a place where we own the house. Dude, that would be ideal. Oh, there's the dog. Blending in with the pillows, I guess. All right. So let's get caught up on a bunch of crazy stuff here. There's a lot that's happened. I actually had a bunch of tabs I closed. I don't know how late we'll stream tonight just because it depends on how much of this we go through. Let me know at some point if the microphone cuts out. I already unplugged it and plugged it back in, so we should be good to go there. She's cooler than I am anyways. Yeah, maybe in the future. So Jordan, when we get moved, if we get the office set up properly, I'd like to actually do a live stream with her once a week on the other channel, which was the original intent. The entire intent of the podcast channel was to do an actual like hour-long her and I just kind of chatting about whatever BS we wanted to talk about. At this point in the evening, though, most nights she's like, don't get me on the camera. I don't want people to see me. She's in her pajamas and her sweatpants and hoodie and stuff and no makeup on, the glasses on and all that. I know firsthand she was at the wedding. It's true, man. Hey, I gotta find some pictures from your wedding. I just realized 6 months or whatever after I got back from Oklahoma, I'm like, I don't think I got any photos while I was there. Like I took a half dozen photos of Oklahoma when we were out and about, but I realized it was crazy because I didn't have the kids with us. I'm like, I didn't take any photos while I was there. It's insane. Neighbors pay half the rent amount for their place, bigger than mine, and their electric's included. My landlord does not include any utilities in the rent. I pay all this myself. So why are you getting the short end of the stick? How do you abolish landlords? Easy, you buy your own place. If you're homeless, just buy a house, guys. Come on. I should have that video clip somewhere. Oh, it's perfect. Used to be a bit easier, but I haven't done the whole real estate bit in over a decade, but they really screwed real estate agents a few years back with commissions. That and during COVID, when they changed a lot of the rules on evictions and qualifications and stuff, my mother-in-law was involved in property management and was starting to work on becoming a real estate agent before she retired from that industry. And she got to the point where, not just because like vaccination requirements and stuff at her own office, but the entire practice, like property management during COVID, became perilous for a lot of these companies, for a lot of these places. So, all right, Jordan, I'll have to skim through that at some point and pull some photos off of there. I'm very, very, very bad about going on Facebook. I think I hop on once or twice a week at most. I know I've seen some of your posts and I've liked some pictures of the kids, and that's about it. Sweatpants make me think of Jason Bateman trying to get home before his wife puts on sweats because sweatpants means no. Nah, man, but like, I'm so happy because today was the first day of actual rain. Like, it was 62 degrees today and raining. And I'm like, guys, I'm wearing sweatpants to work. I'm doing it. It was awesome. Nearly every house around the few city blocks where I live are all rental homes. Each is owned by someone else. Not sure how it all plays out like that, but none of us have the same landlord. Weird. My mom's still a broker in 3 states, but she doesn't really bother anymore. Yeah, if you're disabled, just go to settings and enable it. Exactly. Have a house. Hey, Dor, how's it going, buddy? But I kind of want to buy a Sprinter van. Oh, dude, seriously. So my mom, we had a van for work that was a Nissan NV 3500. So one of those like high top, tall, like it's not a cargo van. It's taller than that. So it's built on like a 3500 truck chassis, but it has like you can stand in the back of it. It's huge. And she sold it for cash to some people that were literally going to convert it into something that they could live in while they were on the road, kind of like an RV. So they were going to build like beds and stuff into the back and all that. So I don't think it's a bad idea if you can make it work. Do miss the days when someone would reasonably be expected to buy a house with 1 to 5 years of work, as in the average person's earnings. Yeah. Yeah, Cali is hell on earth from what I've heard. You know, the thing is, all these West Coast states, we all have our own problems. Washington definitely does. Oregon has like certain areas where they have more problems than most. And then California is a lot like Washington in the respect that in California, it's those large cities in like that LA area, right? You go Northern California and it's completely different than the rest of the states. Hey, Oblivion, thanks, buddy. Aliens are real. I'm glad that I'm a believer. Oh yeah, I've never doubted that aliens are real. I just think this whole thing is going to be like a whole lot of nothing. Cali, because it's decent temperatures, Oregon is better, but Cali has beaches. Yeah, the beaches in Washington and Oregon are too cold. Way too cold. Is that supposed to say comment and not comet? Okay, you guys got to understand. Drama Alert is connected to Keemstar, and despite his success on YouTube, Keemstar is kind of retarded. So if he's the one actually running, I have had to community note Drama Alert multiple times because some of the crap they post is completely brain dead. So, but yes, remember the massive comet once thought to be aliens. Now scientists say that it's bigger than initially measured. So this is supposed to be here, what, November? At some point, I think either between October or November. So, I mean, hey, we all get to hopefully not die in some alien space attack. I mean, at least those of us who have weapons will stand a chance, I guess. State is too hot for half the year for van life. Dude, why is pre-alcoholic eggnog always so terrible? Oh. Like, you get some eggnog and put some Fireball whiskey in it. It's like the only way I'll drink eggnog. But this stuff, I got it at Costco. It's like wine cocktail eggnog. I don't know what this is supposed to be that's in here, but it tastes terrible. Comet's bigger, like an alien freighter then? I guess. I don't know. I still find it interesting that they're saying it's an alien spaceship when all we see is a little blip on the radar. Like little blob, right? Rather die in an alien space attack than the current state of Western society. Man, that is depressingly accurate. If aliens could handle travel like this, why would they give a damn about us? True. Although I think, honestly, at this point in society, if space travel was worth it, if there was truly anything within reasonable distance to go see or do or accomplish, we could have done it by now. I'm not saying like light speed or space, like space cities or whatever. I'm just saying, you know, a reasonable size ship that could transport 1,000 people, soldiers or whatever, from one place to another within less than, 50 years time. I think we would have done it. There's just no reason to at this point. Hopefully our new alien overlords get rid of the wokies. Yeah. Wine eggnog. Well, I don't know that it's actually wine. I don't think it's like, I don't know. It's like how Mike's Hard Lemonade isn't beer, but it's not wine. Who knows what's in there? Some like watered down alcohol. We'd be like ants or maybe worse, germs. Now you're talking like War of the Worlds, where the aliens attacked and came to Earth and died of like a flu virus or whatever. It's at that level. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. Fair point. So on to a bunch of stuff that happened in the gaming world the last couple of weeks. Doug Bowser over at Nintendo retired, which, to be honest, I thought that this guy was just recently hired. Like, I thought Doug Bowser was a new acquisition a couple years ago after, what's his face? The previous CEO stepped down. Crap, what was his name? I'm gonna hate myself when I can't remember this, but guy seemed all right. He actually had a lot of good takes. But yeah, he stepped down, and now we have Devin Pritchard succeeding him as Nintendo of America's president. Now, the funny thing is, some people have pointed out that she is kind of insane. Doc Strangelove on Twitter says, for those unaware of the abject terror this induces, Devin Pritchard has spearheaded several insane lawsuits on the side of Nintendo, and it is a huge numbers corpo type. Expect things to get bad. Somebody asked, did Doug Bowser have anything to do with the lawsuits directly? Doc Strangelove says they all do, but she had her hands directly involved in them. Remember those lawsuits against modders that did not harm Nintendo's bottom line at all? That was her. Now with her at the top, it's going to get even worse, which is going to be fantastic to watch happen. Yeah, NS, didn't you know that Doug Bowser was the president? Reggie, thank you. Why couldn't I remember Reggie? Doug Bowser to be replaced by Mrs. Koopa. Talk about the Tokyo Game Show state of play for Xbox. I didn't even... So, Lugia, I had on my tabs on my computer 2 hours ago, when I first turned my computer on, I had my state of play from last week brought up. I was going to bring up like the Nintendo Direct. I didn't watch the state of play. I didn't watch anything to do with like the Nintendo Direct. I literally have not been connected to most of this stuff for like the last week and a half. Wasn't that the one who went after emulators for games Nintendo didn't even sell anymore? I believe that's the person we're talking about. Aliens dying from chickenpox makes more sense than dying by water and going to a planet that's 70% water. Oh, are we talking about Signs? Hey, Signs was one of those really crappy movies that was kind of enjoyable, but at the same time, really, really terrible. Nobody in Signs acted like rational. Nobody acted normal. For example, when the aliens are on your farm and you find them out in like the crop fields and all that kind of crap, and all you have to protect yourself with is a baseball bat, maybe it's time to go out and buy a gun. Just, crazy idea, right? Kind of hoping that they're making the fatal mistake they're hinting at. Signs was well made but poorly written. Yes, Signs was actually a really entertaining movie. It just was really badly written. It could have been so much better. But to be honest, I'm not a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan anyways. I thought what was it? The one with Bruce Willis before he did Invincible. The I See Dead People one. I thought it was all right, but in general, not great. Brazilian birthday party scene made me pee a little. Brazilian birthday party on Signs? I don't remember that one, man. Hey, Quillpig, I am alive. I feel like I've been sequestered away for a week. A lot of this stuff that's been going on, I've had no, like, I was looking up some of this stuff about, like, these Sweet Baby Inc. connected games that Master TDS has been investigating. I'm like, I don't even want to touch on this stuff because I have no idea about these games. So Endymion says, woman who's pro-censorship and a guy who allowed Nintendo to be overrun with DEI. Your new Nintendo of America, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, I'm confused. So Devin Pritchard is going to be the new Nintendo of America president, and this guy, Satoru Shibata, will be the Nintendo of America CEO. Oh, so she's the president, not CEO. Okay. To be honest, I don't know enough about Nintendo's structure or how they do things to know the difference. Sixth Sense. Why couldn't I remember that? Hey, Pulse. You guys are bailing me out today. Don't you know Alien's biggest weaknesses are instruments of Western sports ball? Jordan, I have to apologize to your Texas baseball teams, by the way, because 24 years the Mariners couldn't take the division, and they finally did it this year. I don't know how, and it probably won't happen again for another 24 years. Oh, we looked good, man. I didn't have any hair at your wedding, but at least my beard was under control. Hey, don't tell Matt that you sent me a picture of him. Pretty sure he doesn't want any photographic evidence existing. Hostile aliens would give us a good reason to own guns. I don't need a good reason. I have plenty of good reasons. Hey, Brown, how's it going, buddy? Technically, you only gave an announcement to everyone who was alive and not announced your own life status. You know, fair enough. Hey, Ryan, appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I feel bad because a lot of people probably thought that I'm like buying a house, and I'm like, I wish I had better news. I wish it was that this was going to be my dream house that my wife and I 6 years ago thought we'd have by now and stuff. But hey, at least I'm getting out of this damn apartment. You know, that's all I care about. Actually, Jordan, I did not. This is the hat that I had on all day, so I just put it on my head. That was it. You got to understand, as a Mariners fan, I have been watching the Astros and recently the Rangers beating up on us for the last decade and a half. So I am enjoying the Texas baseball team's misery right now for however long it lasts. You know, it won't last very long. Tell me something that would basically not give a crap about our firearms. Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Like, what are we talking about? Aliens that are physically frail and weak? Like, do they have shields? Are we talking about like our concept of what a shield would look like in Star Wars or Star Trek is the same as what they would have? No one likes the Mariners. I disagree, but it's okay. I'm way behind on rebuilding the piece of junk building I bought. You know, Blithian, at least you own a piece of junk building. Everything I have in life I rent, between my apartment and my building for work. If I could buy property, build a house, or buy a house that already existed and move my building that I have for work into like private property and build my own shop from the ground up, I would 100% do that in a heartbeat. And the funny part is, when my family had a different business when I was growing up, that's exactly what we did. We actually had my mom's house. She had property, and we built the building for our business on the property. But at the same time, going to my mom's house for work every day was pretty frustrating, kind of annoying. It's unlikely their biology would be fit for our conditions on Earth, assuming drones are worse. The Mariners don't even like the Mariners. Changed my mind. You know, I'm not going to touch that one, but I am a little pissed off that Aaron Judge once again gets MVP when the Mariners catcher somehow has like the third most home runs in the American League history. He beat Babe Ruth, beat Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, I'm a little miffed about that, but whatever. East Coast bias in sports. So other good news, Asmongold is returning. His dad passed away a little over a week and a half ago. He put this video out talking about his dad. At the time, I figured we could go through the video. Now it's kind of old news, but the good news is he's actually taking some time off, and he's planning on returning to streaming sometime this week, I believe. So this will piss off a lot of people. There were a lot of people dancing on his dad's grave, kind of like Charlie Kirk. And it just shows these people for who they are. Most sports teams don't like their team. Workplace politics, yeah, that's true. And the reality, the funny thing about sports in general is, as fans in a region, if you really care and are invested in a team, you have to realize most of the people playing on your team not only are not from your city, not from your state, and in many cases not from your country. It's a contract. It's just a job. Sure, while they're on your team, you can temporarily root for them and be all excited when they win and do well. But it's artificially created. You watched that video today? I watched it within an hour of him uploading it because I was on pins and needles. Not like I'm super invested in his personal life, but I knew it was going to be a big deal when it finally happened. Hey, Tekla. I don't like teams these days. I miss when they had to be local. Yeah, Jordan, that's the thing. It's like he's very much, I would say, milquetoast, fence riding centrist with typically liberal leanings, but generally decent takes on a lot of stuff because he's not insane. It's funny how you don't have to be a genius or right wing to have logical thought processes. You just have to not be a lunatic. That's all it takes. You play modded Stellar Blade. I haven't played Stellar Blade since the second time I played it, the day after I bought it. That's one of those games that I think is a decent game. Gameplay wise, the story is kind of eh. The voice acting is kind of eh, at least in English. But no. No, Door. I actually don't mod any games. The last modded game I had that I actually modded, that took me more than 5 seconds to mod, was Crusader Kings 3. There was a vampire and lichen lineage type thing that I modded into the game, and then I'm like, this game still sucks. I don't want to play it. And then the multiplayer mod for Bannerlord, but then I never got around to playing it. Might become Goonzilla. Or just have decency and the ability to think critically. Hey, that's true. That didn't take much either, but it's funny how few people have that nowadays. All right, so catching up on a lot of this, while I haven't been streaming or making videos because life being too busy and getting away from me, yes, we did have the PlayStation State of Play. There was a lot that came out of this. Again, not talking about wireless speakers or controllers, obviously, but the Wolverine gameplay trailer, which was kind of a hot button thing because there was more like showing combos and button mashing than gameplay. You have to mod shit for it to be fun? That's not true. I enjoy the games that I play. I play plenty of games that I really enjoy that are not modded. He's not left or right. He's like Tim Pool, completely utilitarian and self-interested. That's what I said. Milquetoast, centrist, fence rider. That describes Tim Pool to a T. But again, Tim Pool and Asmongold both were previously liberally minded people, left-wing people. I mean, you can look at Tim Pool's history. He was a left-wing person. Deus Ex Remastered, saw a lot of controversy. A lot of people weren't excited about that. Battlefield 6 campaign trailer dropped of this thing. There wasn't really a whole lot worth talking about, in my personal opinion, from what I saw from the State of Play. What did we cover so far? Not a whole lot, really. Is Bannerlord multiplayer? The game is not multiplayer. However, there is a mod. There is a mod that exists that makes it a multiplayer game, but it does change the actual gameplay itself. So I'm sure that there are mods that mod the actual campaign mode where you could just add other people to your campaign map. But the mods that I've seen that I've downloaded were straight up like truly like completely changed the entire gameplay function of the game itself. I think the Wolverine game is going to be very bad. I've been saying that for a while, and not just because of the fact that it's you know, Sweet Baby Inc. and everything else. It genuinely, I have played enough superhero games, and in fact, even like old Wolverine, X-Men type games, that I just don't see the appeal. You know, I don't get it. I don't need another button mashing, you know, combo riddled Wolverine game. I don't know. I could be crazy. Hardcore fan of Deus Ex, but a remaster doesn't make any sense, especially a console release. Yeah. To be fair, I was from left to center before I got Christ build. Yeah, but I don't even think it's that so much as it's kind of like, okay, so I use this analogy all the time, and Jordan, you're younger than I am, so maybe this won't ring true for you. But I feel like the problem is that the people who are centrists nowadays, who are basically viewed by left-wingers as like right-wing fascist bigots, are just 90s Democrats. They're truly like the people like in the 90s where my parents had friends who were Democrats, my parents voted Republican, and they'd still get together and play cards once a week, you know? Give each other crap over who was in the Oval Office, and it was not a big deal. Everyone just kind of like, it wasn't a big thing, right? Only thing conservatives can be trusted with is sending all the money to Middle East, so I'm center left. Fair enough. Hyped for Dynasty Warriors 3. Oh, I gotta stop drinking this eggnog. This is terrible. Oh, man. Like after work, I barely play games unless the game is super catchy. Friends and ChatGPT are fun mostly. I mean, no, I mean, I have games that I find personally addictive that don't require modding. But like I said, I'll end up playing like the same 3 or 4 games, and that is kind of it. So Call of Duty dropped their Black Ops 7 multiplayer reveal trailer. It got destroyed on YouTube. And somebody pointed out here that it has like, I don't know, who's the rap artist? Travis Scott says, also having to listen to Travis Scott for over 2 minutes was effing torture. They deserve to lose for that alone. I agree. I'm kind of sick of the obsession that Hollywood, mainstream media, entertainment, video games have with like blasting rap music. I'm sorry, I hate rap music. I never will understand it. There's very few rap artists I like. And then, of course, Battlefield dropped this live-action trailer yesterday. Yesterday? Yeah, today's 29th. So I thought this one was pretty fun. I'm not even going to play with the sound, but kind of like taking shots straight at Call of Duty for the way that they've always done things by hiring people that are like big name actors. So you got Zac Efron and a basketball player here, country music star. And this last guy, I don't even know. Patty Pimblett, no clue who that is. And within like 10 seconds, they just blow all of them away, which is absolutely hilarious. Again, I think this is great marketing. Because the thing that people are sick of with Call of Duty is how freaking corny the game has gotten. It's basically turned into Fortnite, but just first-person shooter. The skins are retarded. The microtransactions are insane. You know, season passes, battle passes, all that garbage. And then, of course, there was like this controversy a few weeks ago because they had nerfed some of the movement in Battlefield 6 to make it more... You need to be strategic. You need to play as a team. You can't just go sliding and jumping and ducking and twisting and turning. You actually have to think about what you're doing. And people complained about that too. With the episode Travis Scott, it sounds like a country dude. Dude, Travis Scott is like the biggest rap artist right now. I guess him and who was the other idiot they had at the Super Bowl? Kendrick Lamar. God, I hate so much. Like my kids in Little League, all the other boys that play baseball, when they do their walk-up music, they all want to have Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, come on, man. Mystique's face makes sense to be like that. I mean, I would want to shapeshift powers if I had an ugly mug like that. Don't particularly care about rap, but it shows how disconnected corpos are with gamers. But think about the Super Bowl. I wasn't even going to bring it up. I wasn't even going to bring it up because it's not worth mentioning. This whole Super Bowl halftime show where they got that Latino guy, Bad Bunny, to be the halftime performer. What the crap is going on? I get it. The Super Bowl has had Jay-Z in charge of the halftime show for years. That's why most of what you're getting is black artists, rap artists, hip hop, things that don't appeal to your traditional average American football viewer. I mean, again, get me some actual rock bands, get me some decent country artists, not like this what we have nowadays. Something decent to listen to, but you're not going to get that, you know? Travis Scott sounds more like a YouTuber with a cowboy hat. There you go. Patty's an MMA fighter. Okay, interesting. I haven't watched MMA in probably like 15 years. Not that I'm a huge fan of these types of games. Hearing what one of the devs has said about the Kirk situation would have turned me away from a purchase if I was planning to. Yeah, I mean this was one of those ones. Battlefield 6 had one of the devs basically crapping on Charlie Kirk, and then one of the guys that actually I found him I took some screenshots of him talking crap about Charlie Kirk. Had been a dev on Battlefield 1 and 2, so it's all these games, guys. It's really it's every single one of them. The turn with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Yes. Kendrick Lamar is my goat. Don't disrespect. I'm sorry, man. I can't do rap. I can do white guy rap. I can do Eminem occasionally. I can do like uh Linkin Park type rap. You know, I don't do the whole mumble rap thing. I don't get it. I have no idea. Thought Bad Bunny didn't want to perform in the US because his fans would get arrested by ICE. They really should. They should. ICE should go to the Super Bowl. ICE should be there, although let's be honest, it's not going to be a bunch of illegal immigrants buying tickets to go there. There's no MJ now to fill a spot that everyone likes. Picking rap artists for a massive venue feels a bit awkward because rap is more hit and miss when it comes to the target audience. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem in my opinion. That'd be like, okay, my kids were trying to like pick a different artist and they're like, am I saying Run DMC is crap? No. See, you got to understand, I can put up with like the 90s rap. When you can actually understand what they're saying, I got no problem with that. How is it the Green Day and Blink-182 were what I heard as a kid, and now it's mostly hip hop? Door. That's a rabbit hole I really don't want to jump down on this stream, but I 100% know what you're complaining about, and I agree. Why was it that when I was a teenager, punk music was so popular, and even then country music was still decent up until like the Mr. Mom, Lone Star days, the Emerson Drive type country, the pop country that really took over. There was a turning point culturally where all of a sudden every other white girl that in college that I knew was listening to hip hop, and I'm like, why? I just didn't get it, you know? If the Cowboys and Raiders make it, they're going to wipe out 2 fan bases. Oh, if ICE shows up, yeah. Does Bad Bunny have English songs? Not that I am aware of. I think he doesn't speak a word of English. I don't know. No, actually, the Run DMC Aerosmith Walk This Way is pretty fire, not going to lie. Buck Cherry was good. They were, I don't know. Buck Cherry was in that genre of music where I felt like they were trying too hard to be edgy. I don't mind music where like rock music where they're swearing. I felt like they were like at the same time as Hinder. And I shouldn't compare him to Hinder because Hinder was so cringe, and that song Lips of an Angel got so overplayed, but I mean same time era at least. He speaks English with a heavy accent. Yeah, I don't think he has English songs. They're surprised that they didn't do the K-pop Demon Hunters. Dude, and K-pop Demon Hunters had some decent music. I actually really enjoyed that movie watching it with my kids. I was pleasantly surprised at what a decent movie it was. It's generic music, yeah. 100%. Lips of an Asshole. Hey now, man. Hey now. That song was good the first time I heard it. By the 1000th time, I was sick and tired of it. Here's a cool one, guys. Okay, so Arc Raiders apparently is going to have another open test, and this one is going to be for everybody. I guess it's not a closed alpha or any of this kind of stuff. They are actually doing what they call a server slam, where they're going to try to get as many people in as they possibly can before the game launches. And so this is pretty cool. Now, in talking about the Battlefield 6 devs, talking crap about Charlie Kirk and saying some nasty stuff, I saw on the website that's tracking this stuff that one of the Arc Raider devs had said something similar, but then the game got taken off the list, and I can't find the comment anymore. So I don't know if it was retracted or what. All right, Jordan, have a good night, buddy. Old Town Road by Lil Nas X is a country song, dude. No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, never want to say goodbye. Dude, Golden. Honestly. The music in that movie is really good. My oldest son, he's 12, so he refuses to admit that the movie's decent. He refuses. Zac Efron, I heard he over-surgered his face. I thought he was supposed to be good looking. I mean, that was Zac Efron in this trailer. So, oh my God, you're not kidding. Dude, he looks like Dan Marino. Y'all know what Dan Marino looked like before he got to be like 65, right? Wow, that's rough. Like the whole soundtrack for Never Back Down. I'm trying to think if I know that one. No, dude, I unapologetically think that K-pop Demon Hunters is probably one of the best animated movies to come out in the last 10 years. Far better than 90% of what Disney's putting out there. He looks like Shrek. Well, it's just sad because these are the people, and it happens mostly with women, with plastic surgery, Hollywood, building people up and telling you who, you have to idolize and all that, and who you should want to look like. Yeah, he looked fine without surgery. He's like the lady from The Boys, Erin Moriarty, I think her name is. She was so cute beforehand. Like I've had this conversation with my wife, right? Dan Marino, you got any more of that gum? That's none of your damn business. I'll think you just stay out of my personal affairs. Wasn't Dan Marino in was that Ace Ventura? I'm thinking of in the first Ace Ventura. Yeah, he was in the first Ace Ventura movie. Yeah. MMA in high school fighting movie from around 2010. Amber Heard. Oh, that was the early Amber Turd days. Man, YouTube was so much fun during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial before Nick Rekieta got busted as a cokehead and before everything kind of turned to crap. That was one of those post-COVID, nice ways of unplugging from how terrible the real world was and seeing, some stupid celebrity crap to occupy our brains. The Amber Heard trial was so good. Oh, yeah, what she did to her face, that buccal fat thing. Although she might have done more than just that. I know that Anya Taylor-Joy has done that. Supposedly the chick from Wednesday has done that. It's really bad. I don't know why people do that to themselves. And that's the thing. Like I was talking to my wife about this before. I have always preferred actor. I mean, I don't care what the actor looks like as long as it's not some like Jack Black looking dude in a movie. But in movies where you're supposed to have like a romantic female lead, I've always wanted like the actresses to look more like the Rachel McAdams of the world, the normal looking, good looking women. I don't want the ones who have like everything plastic and stuff. If you're going to have somebody who's held up as the ideal specimen when it comes to like the female lead in a role for like a, action or romantic, whatever it is, give me somebody who looks naturally pretty over somebody who's like all done up with makeup and plastic surgery and crap. Man from the peak era of Disney, yes. Amber Heard trials is what got Asmund on my feed. Oh, that's funny. I wasn't watching Asmund during the Amber Heard stuff. That was actually where I got plugged into the whole Nick Rekieta thing. And then I watched that entire downfall happen in real time. And it was like, holy crap. I'd exchanged DMs with Nick Rekieta at one point because I'm like, oh, I thought he's a cool dude, right? And then a year later, I'm just watching all this going, oh my God. She had the perfect girl next door gorgeousness, then Hollywood brain took a huge dump on her face. Right. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, why do they convince these women? And they'll blame men. They'll blame men and say men are the reason women have to do this because men are too harsh on women's appearances. Men do. Yes, there are guys who are like, oh, women hit the wall at 30 and you empty egg cartons. And sure, all those things may be true. But you don't make yourself look better by completely destroying your face. It's just, it's so brutal. Tell you're a man of refined taste. Yeah. No, I think a lot of us probably feel the same way about a lot of these things. Yeah, Arc Raiders looks like it's going to be pretty minimal as far as the actual system requirements go. I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know if I'm going to buy the game. $40. A lot of people were pissed off about the fact that it's not a free game, even though originally it was announced to be one. I think it'll be fine. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer, dude. Okay, Quill Pig, I think I'm a little bit older than you. But the older than me guys in the chat can probably understand and appreciate this. When I was a kid, now mind you, youngest of 4 boys, so I watched a lot of movies that I wasn't supposed to watch growing up, and my parents just kind of like edited, fast forwarded or whatever. What's the empty egg carton? Like a woman over 30, 35 that's starting to lose her eggs. So people just post a picture of like the empty egg carton. Catwoman, yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer and Renee Russo were a couple of those women. When I was like 12, 13 years old, I was like, oh, they're fine. They're hot. I had no idea really what I would have done with a woman at that age, but I remember having the biggest crush on Renee Russo. You've never heard that? Oh, yeah, no, that's the thing. Remember that game Farm Friends? They just changed their logo to look more like that. Very generic now. Oh, I'm not a fan of the Arc Raiders logo. Not at all. Sandra Bullock, yes. Sandra Bullock. And even up until like about 10 years ago, Sandra Bullock still looked really good. Speed. Yep, yep. No, I don't know why, but I had the hots for Renee Russo. Probably because I saw her in Lethal Weapon 3. That, and there was that other chick from the sequel to crap, what was the John Travolta the one before Staying Alive? Saturday Night Fever. The chick from that movie, the blonde. Oh, the British gal. The British gal. Crap, I'll have to look her up. Man, I'm feeling really old right now. Buzz all kind of... Yeah, this Peacemaker thing is pretty stupid too. I can't believe this is a thing, but you guys gotta understand. So, oh, Mila Jovovich, yeah, for a girl that had no body fat whatsoever, and I like curves. Okay, I am very much I'm a guy that doesn't mind a few extra pounds if it means the woman looks healthy and feminine. But Mila Jovovich, back when the first Resident Evil movie came out, Fifth Element, that time period. Oh yeah, no, I had the hots for her. And actually, I knew a girl through our church youth group that kind of reminded me of her, but way not as cute and very scary. Jessica Biel, that's an interesting one. A little manly for me. A little too masculine, but I can see it. I get it. Jessica Alba is one that I never understood. And people have flamed me for years because I didn't think Jessica Alba was hot, but I also never thought Jennifer Lopez was hot. I think Jennifer Lopez is boring. Completely boring. I think that Jennifer Lopez is the most overhyped, overrated woman that has ever existed. I don't get it. Nah, Jessica Alba's way hotter. Now, see, I think Jessica Biel is a better looking woman than Jessica Alba. I think Jessica Alba is just boring. I put her and Jennifer Lopez in the same category. And the funny thing is, it's not that I don't think Hispanic women can be really attractive. Like, if you remember Eva Mendes, she was in Hell Rider with Nicolas Cage. Eva Mendes was really attractive. But it's a meme. I don't know, man. There are so many memes, okay? Jennifer Love Hewitt back in the day? No. See, I like Jennifer Love Hewitt now. I didn't care about Jennifer Love Hewitt then. This is where my wife would say that this is why she married me. Because, like, I look at Jessica Love Hewitt back then and go, she was just kind of, whatever. You know, Jessica Love Hewitt now, I'm like, I like the thick mom body. I'm gone for a week and now I'm admitting way too many things about myself here. Weird hotness where we bring up celebrity and others that may think that they're not hot, but we can find the appeal or have our own appeal for. There are weird ones out there. There are ones where I'm like, why am I attracted to that person? Why do I think they're attractive? But I think Shakira's cute. I think Shakira's cute. Yeah, I don't know. So Shakira and J-Lo did the Super Bowl halftime show a couple years ago together, and I was like, can we just get J-Lo off the stage, let Shakira do her own music? Because I liked her performance. She looked really good. Her music was catchy, and she looked good up there dancing around. And then you have J-Lo, who's the 60-year-old stripper in the middle of the... I'm like, dude, get her off the stage. Like, get her in a retirement home or something. I didn't watch Dark Angel. Jessica Alba became a big deal because of Sin City. I think that was the movie that really put her on the map, was Sin City. But yeah, so this Peacemaker Fortnite thing, really stupid, really lame. I guess he does this dance in the show, and I'm not going to watch it. I am so not going to watch this show because I don't tend to watch shows where they have to open the second season with an orgy with a bunch of naked people running around. Not my cup of tea, personally. So whatever there, you know. But yeah, so he does this dance where he basically makes like a Nazi flag out of himself. And they have the emote in the game, and I guess somebody freaked out and complained about it, so they had to pull that one. So that was a thing that happened. Michelle Trachtenberg, why do I know that name? Sad turn for that. Oh my God, I know who you're talking about. Hang on. She just recently passed away, right? Michelle Trachtenberg. Yeah, why do I... Oh my god, yeah, she was, Topanga, right? Am I thinking of the right chick, or is it a different chick? No, different chick. Topanga was the gal that became, OnlyFans, horror. What was Michelle Trachtenberg in? Oh, she was in Buffy. Okay. Yeah. Gossip Girl. I didn't watch that one. Okay. Yeah, different chick. And Euro Trip. I didn't watch the Euro Trip movie. Dude, honestly, like, I find like the road trip Euro Trip movies, it's just an excuse just to have naked people, which is fine if you want to watch that, but just watch porn at that point. Like, what the hell's the point? I'm not a big fan of JLo's playing on the radio at my work right now. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of movies, entertainment movies that have nothing but naked people in them. It's not my thing. Oh my god, don't do it, Cage. Come on, man. Come on. Because I'm like, if you just want to throw naked people on a screen, go make porn. I want my movie to be entertaining that doesn't require naked people. So hot people are fine. I don't mind that. Give me plenty of jiggle, that's fine. But like, if you're just gonna make a porno, make a porno. So Borderlands 4 also got delayed this week for the Switch 2. So apparently it's not just, having a few issues here and there. So once again, Randy Pitchford is full of shit. Eurotrip was an actually funny movie, not a naked movie. I don't know. I just assumed that they're all the same, dude. American Pie, Road Trip, Eurotrip. I just kind of lumped them all in the same category. So for me, I just personally didn't really care, man. Well, hey, so DB, you're probably right about that. I just assumed because it's connected to the other ones that it was going to be just like the rest of them, dude. Halle Berry is the reason why I love Storm even more. Halle Berry was a good Storm. Yeah. Halle Berry definitely was pretty back in the day. I don't know, she aged well. I think I've seen her recently. They say that black don't crack or whatever, and I think she aged pretty well. I don't know if it was natural or not, but your trip aside from that was quite good. I also liked it Without a Paddle. Without a Paddle. But I feel like I've seen Without a Paddle. Here's a fun one for those of you guys who like cults. Just saw this today on Twitter. There's a cult religion open world survivor game called Join Us that was recently announced. Supports up to 4 players. Create and expand your original religion. Eliminate heretics with firearms. I mean, that sounds fun. I don't know if there's any sound or not. Doesn't appear to have sound. The problem with these games, things like this, I've played games like this on stream, and this looks like it's just, UE5 AI slop, in my personal opinion. It doesn't look like anything that's going to be revolutionary or creative enough to actually make it worth playing. Pretty crazy shit, obviously. There's some pretty wacky stuff in the game. But I don't see anything like this having longevity. I might check it out, though. Who knows? Another cult game that was really popular for a while was that Cult of the Lamb game. That was one of those massive indie successes that blew up out of nowhere. That was a pretty interesting one. Can you create feminism? No, man. Feminism's already existing. She's still good. Last time I saw her was in John Wick 3. Halle Berry was in that? How did I not know that? It's not AI slop, but a lot of them are just asset flips. That's another thing, too, is how much of it is actually created, from scratch, and how much of it is just them flipping assets. So here's an interesting one. Apparently, Silent Hill F only peaked at 22,000 players this last weekend, which is really weird. Now, I don't know if this is a situation where it's a problem with how the game runs, or if people just weren't looking forward to it. But I recall this is one of those games where, the price is expensive, obviously, This is one of those games where I remember that they were talking about how basically it was going to deal with like the feminist perspective of this crap. I don't know if it's because it was like 1960s Japan, and so she was tackling like, you know, sexism or whatever in the game as well. Yeah, Cage, I almost picked that game up a couple times. Halle Berry was outacted by the dogs in JW3. You think there's too many other games that just dropped? Silent Hill F is actually Japanese woke. Fairly buggy. I've heard that the UE5 is a problem for the game, that it's kind of buggy. Jump Space had way more than that. Great game. Cool Pig. I got back on Silk Song a couple days ago, and the game's awesome. I think I'm probably 6 or 7 hours in Silk Song, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to beat the game still. But yeah, dude, Silk Song, I'm still going to say Expedition 33, Game of the Year. In the running, obviously, games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, even though I didn't personally stick with it, and there's all the controversy around it, the quality of the game itself is still top-notch, obviously. But Silk Song is a definite contender. Some are saying Ghost of Yotei. I don't know about that, to be honest, but we'll see. There's a few other honorable mentions, I think, but I think Expedition 33's got it locked up. Could be one of those ones that sold more on console. The game sold 1 million copies. Yeah, so it could very well be that. I saw that the game hit 3 million copies sold in... 1 million copies sold in 3 days, kind of like Expedition 33 did, so... now we've got new Resident Evil Requiem gameplay. Apparently, the zombies have evolved and differ from the usual Resident Evil zombies. They require a new combat method, as in, basically... They are massive, it looks like, and you have to hide from them, I guess. I mean, this is slightly terrifying. Not gonna lie. Turret girls, oh my god. No. Why am I hearing Japanese, like, speaking? Is there a TV on in this game or something? I'm so confused right now. He-Man's getting a live-action movie and they casted Jared Leto's... They actually... Wait. I thought that was a joke. See, this to me just doesn't... I don't know. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil person. But this to me just doesn't scream Resident Evil. Leto is Skeletor. Oh my god. Resident Isolation, there you go. Here's the thing, guys. Now, I'm not a fan of games where you have to hide. Okay, so if a game has stealth, if there's a stealth mechanic in a game, that's fine. I don't love it, but I'll deal with it. I'll deal with the stealth mechanic part of the game, right? If there's a game that your entire time you're playing it is just running away, I don't know. I don't personally find the appeal. I get it, there's a huge market for it, but I just don't want to spend the entire game, hide behind here, wait for it to walk by, sneak through here. It's a walking simulator. I mean, that's how a lot of these games turn out to be, though, to be honest. A lot of these games turn out to be exactly the same kind of carbon copy crap that we've seen time and time again, which is fine if you enjoy it. It's just not for me. I don't know. Of course, the other thing about Resident Evil games is you have like the item management, the inventory management. Ammo management, trying to make sure you have health, don't get too beat up because you have to combine your herbs to make healing and all that. It's a shit Resident game. Yeah, it looks terrible. Personally, from what I've seen, I'm like, I don't understand what they're thinking when it comes to this game, but who knows? We'll see, right? Here's an interesting one though. Exclusive new Lord of the Rings game in development. Now, I don't know how to feel about this one. I have played a lot of great Lord of the Rings games. Going back to the movie games that I had on my GameCube, Third Age for a turn-based strategy game is a banger. That game was freaking awesome. Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2 were both good. Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, not canon, obviously. It took a lot of liberties, but the gameplay was awesome. Like, I've played a lot of really good Lord of the Rings games. I don't know how I feel about this one. Dude, yeah, Cool Pig, Third Age is a banger. It's really underrated. I was talking to somebody on Twitter about that today, and they completely passed over that game. I'm like, you didn't even remember, like, Third Age was a thing? It was a phenomenal game. Outlast Trials would give you nightmares. Honestly, don't know if they got stuff in the game. In that game made What's Wild. Oh, how they got stuff in that game made. It depends on the game. I didn't look at Resident Evil Requiem and go, oh, it's so scary, I'm terrified. But, the creepy factor. There are games that have that creepy factor that'll leave you unsettled. Like, especially if you're playing a game late at night by yourself, everyone else at the house is asleep, you got the headphones on, lights are turned off, and you're playing like those really dark, immersive games. There are times, like the first time I tried playing The Forest, I was by myself, everyone in the house was asleep. I can't even remember if I was streaming it or if I was just playing it with no viewers at all, which at the time was basically the same thing. But it creeped the hell out of me. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. Racing games scare you? That's it? That's interesting. I've never heard that one. You still have your copy of Third Age packed away with your PS2? Dude, game was a banger. Fantastic game. Says, brand new Lord of the Rings game is in development, has been for some time. Sources close to the game tell Insider Gaming that a new title is set to be at least partially funded by the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. This funding should roughly equate to $100 million, give or take. Now that has me worried. They want it to compete with the way that it's designed with Hogwarts Legacy. That's another thing that has me a little worried. The forest is creepy when the cannibals start giggling at you during nightfall. Yeah, that was exactly what got to me. The first night that I'm out there, and of course I'm not playing multiplayer, I'm by myself, and the cannibals wake up in the middle of the night, and like I have my little campfire, but I could barely see anything. They eventually beat me unconscious, and then I wake up suspended upside down in a cave, and I have to escape from the cave. Mind you, I have like no weapons or anything. Yeah, the game creeped me out. I was like, probably not something I'm going to play by myself. In addition to the ADIO, it was said that multiple parties are involved with the game, including Embracer, Revenge, and other studios. Embracer has had the rights to the Lord of the Rings IP for video games since 2022, when it paid nearly $400 million for it. It has since licensed out those rights to other companies to produce titles, including the much maligned Lord of the Rings Gollum. Oh boy. Only Tosh leaning over me, slapping a wall. All right, Oblivion. Have a good night, buddy. Oh yeah, Lucia, that's actually coming up here pretty soon. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Didn't Garfield send Nirmal to Abu Dhabi? I believe so. I believe that sounds about right. Let me see here. When contacted for a statement, Embracer says that as a general rule, we do not comment on rumors or speculation. Revenge, one studio said to be involved with the game, also declined to comment on rumor and speculation. So, who knows? It could be good or it could be complete and utter dog shit. Steam Autumn Sale is up. What will you buy out of it? You know what? Truth, I managed to not buy a single game during the summer sale, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for the autumn sale. I'm going to be moving at some point in the next 5 to 10 days, and I am not even going to have time to think about what I missed out on. So I think it's beneficial to me because I have to spend a crap load of money with like security deposits and first month's rent and everything else. that I don't even have time to think about the Steam out himself. I wonder if the Saudis are going to tolerate the HR hag, and I wonder whether Becky is going to hold her management position at EA. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Sons of the Forest updated the enemy AI of the cannibals. Highly recommend that one, especially if you like structure building and survival games. That building in that game is done well. The only thing about building in the game and survival is they're more fun with friends if it's like a scary version. Like I played Valheim by myself. That one, I love survival games. And I'll play them by myself if they're not like the horror survival type. So... let me see here. Roblox, and I thought this said Roblox would be shutting down, but it's not. Roblox is shutting down Guilded, which again is their alternative to Discord at the end of 2025. I don't know if this is like a cost-cutting situation where they just don't want to keep paying to keep it operating, but this broke at about 8:30 tonight, so this is something I haven't even had a chance to dive into yet and look into as to why they're shutting down Guilded. I don't know if it's connected to the voice chat and all the PDF files they've got over there at Roblox. I don't even know. Who's this woman? Why is she in the office? Why is she talking to me? What's going on here? That's how I feel anytime I get on the phone with like a really obnoxious woman. All right, so Insomniac Games revealed a trailer with the state of play for Wolverine. Wolverine, a much maligned game when it comes to the connection to Sweet Baby Inc. And of course, a lot of the people at Insomniac have been exposed over the past few years as a bunch of lunatics. And then we had this situation where basically people were blowing up over this Mystique model that they had in the game that they featured. I don't personally feel strongly one way or the other about it. It's not a desirable looking woman. And I think that's intentional, given the fact that we know that the male gaze has been a topic of... They don't like it. The people in game development these days, a lot of the people involved in like DEI crap and the consulting companies, they want to get rid of the male gaze, right? They want to get rid of anything that traditionally heterosexual men find attractive. So when you see women who in movies and comics were definitely more like... I mean, Mystique in the movies at least she was like a sex idol, right? She was like an icon. She was kind of like, she was like Marilyn Monroe, but in the X-Men. So it doesn't shock me that they toned down the sexiness of the character. But I do find it funny though when people deny it. I mean, people you can like the model. I don't think it's the worst looking character model that I've seen, but I think that they've definitely toned it down for their own reasons. So from the Gamer, it says, Insomniac claps back at everyone calling Mystique woke. It says, ever since the latest Wolverine trailer dropped, there's been a mountain of comments on social media claiming that the Mystique design is woke as hell, with some like controversial kickstreamer Asmongold even singling out a Concord developer as the reason, even though they've only worked on the new Marvel game for 8 months. So if you saw Insomniac's post yesterday morning, a pointing forward and a clown face emoji, you can take a wild guess at who they're pointing at. If it wasn't clear that they're calling everyone stirring up drama over Mystique clowns, they replied with another pointing finger, this time next to a blue heart. And yeah, the tweet's still there. It's this guy. This one right here. And you can see following it up with that one there. Looks like a dude just like Jean Grey. The Jean Grey one was rough. I remember the leaks that came out about that one a couple years ago. It looked really, really rough. They want to make her a drag queen, let's be real. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like they intentionally, whether you think it's a good-looking character or an ugly character, they are intentionally trying to water down. Oh, yeah, there's a beauty one. There's a beaut. Oh, my God. I think those are all women. The one third from the right I have questions about. No, that's not a woman. Oh my god. Okay, well, Insomniac's full of it. Oh yeah, no, the gamer is a left-leaning rag, so it's always fun to go and see what they're saying. Well, like I said, the thing is, we know that any character who's like sexy naturally is going to get toned down by these people. So the toning down of the character doesn't shock me one bit. Trying to make her ass as flat as possible, not make her attractive, those all make sense. I mean, and yeah, Veridark got a lot of shit over this take, and I think she's right about this. But again, you're allowed. You could say that she's the most prettiest character you've ever seen, and I would disagree with you, but you're allowed to your opinions. At the end of the day, though, this is done for an intentional reason. I don't understand why we're even arguing about this anymore. Everyone knows that this is deliberate. Everybody knows that the people that work at these studios, the consultants and stuff, anything that was attractive, anything that was desirable, they are intentionally trying to water down. They don't want traditionally attractive people being portrayed that would appeal to heterosexual men. They've admitted this themselves. Hey, Mahendra. Oh, too much. We've been recapping a bunch of stuff. The one in the black jacket, yeah. That's not a woman, dude. They really want people to identify as non-binary, right? Anytime there's a character that has shape-changing powers, the transistors jump on trying to claim that character as their own because shape-changing is their dream. Dude, they tried to make freaking Hornet from Silksong transgender. Okay. And then the memes came out from Silksong, from the quotes from Hornet, where basically Hornet is like this, almost like an ethno-nationalist type. Like, it's crazy. It's like, yeah, no, this is not the based trans queen that the trans were hoping for. Insomniac isn't the only one to point and laugh. A post from 2 days ago on X comparing Mystique to a Concord character blew up with comments pulling in called her Mystique and Mystique, claiming that the team is allergic to attractive women. Well, they are. But the quotes are almost entirely made up of people dunking on this post and others like it. This is like top-notch journalism here. Wow. And then, of course, I'm not sure if you guys saw the gameplay trailer. The gameplay trailer was really underwhelming. It was just literally like Wolverine doing the same 3 moves over and over again, / gore. And it's like, okay, it's Wolverine. I get it. But it's the same exact reason why I'm like, this is boring. I can't even imagine buying a Wolverine game at this point. I don't know. Somebody said, looks like there's an intern getting fired today, and Insomniac responded, intern season is over. It's just mean. I don't know. That's weird. That's very strange. Hornet's a freak though. Dude, a lot of people jumped on that Hornet bandwagon. It was just, I don't know, some of the fan art that I've seen is just too much. Learning the Law says if you watch the latest trailer for Marvel's Wolverine, you'll notice that about 90% of Logan's enemies are diverse male and female Zoomers. I don't even know if you could call them female. Like, what the frick is this, to be honest? Is this supposed to be a man or a woman? This is the thing, guys. It's not just the Mystique model, right? I thought my cat was behind me. It's not just that one character model. It's everything in the freaking game. It's just over and over and over again, just saturated and crammed in there. It's the craziest thing. It's like, why is it? Some of the fan art on Hornet makes her thick. Oh, dude, I know. I've seen some of it, and I'm like, oh my god. First off, it's a bug. It's a bug, okay? No, it's not Erika Ishii, but my god, it sure looks like her, doesn't it? Did you guys know that Erika Ishii did the female lead protagonist voice for Dragon Age Veilguard? So if you choose to play a woman in Dragon Age Veilguard, Erika Ishii is the English voice actress. I didn't even know that until a couple months ago. That chick has gotten so much work, and most of the games that she's in are shit. Like, most of them suck. Read the Silksong lore. Oh, okay. Saw what they did with Spider-Man 2. I think we all know what they did with Spider-Man 2. Yeah, no, 100% you're right about that. Here's another one, getting back to the trans people. I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw this almost a week ago now. HBO is reportedly holding casting auditions for Lev, the transgender child, I guess, from Last of Us Part 2, for Season 3 of The Last of Us show. Shaved head, Asian, trans, 12 to 15 years old. Now, I don't even begin to gotta tell you like how terrible and disgusting this is, that they're intentionally trying to cast a child who thinks they're transgender for this horrible dog shit show. Like, I swear to God, these people are just disgusting. just the worst people on the planet. What's up, kitty cat? Come here. Leave your sister alone, you hornball. Come here. Come here. He's like, no, Dad, I gotta go find my sister. The Japanese voice actress for Yote? Dude, somebody, I'll find a picture in a second. Somebody actually suggested, we'll get to Ghost of Yote in just a second. Somebody suggested the girl that plays Miku. I can't remember her name on Shogun, and I'm like, oh my god, that would have been perfect, right? That would have been amazing. So I touched on this one 2 weeks ago, talking about Fair Games, how it was kind of like being rumored it was going to get canceled. And then 5 days ago, this dude who's a complete twat on Twitter, Rhino the Bouncer, says, rumor, Fair Games is claimed to be canceled along with Sony shutting down Haven Studios. Now, this was never confirmed, and I've looked for articles to confirm this one. Another person the same day, Detective Seeds, I don't know, some content creator, says, as far as I know, Fair Games is still a green light, but being reworked. A person I know from Ubisoft just joined Haven Studios a few weeks ago. I don't think they would bring them over if game was canceled, as they are working on that game. So I don't know about this one. Favorite animal. Oof. Favorite animal that I own domestically, like an actual legally ownable animal, like dog or cat, or are we talking like favorite animal in general? Oh man. I mean, I always loved chimpanzees as a kid. Loved any kind of monkey, to be honest. But I'm more of a dog person than cat person. I love my cats, but I'm naturally inclined to be a dog person. So on Love, they want to be accurate. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I mean, it's got to be illegal to actually say, here, we need a 12 to 15-year-old child actor. By the way, can we find one that's mentally ill? That someone had, one that has a mentally ill mom, you know? Like eagles. What about turtles? I like turtles. Now time for the odd question segments of the stream. Hey, you know what? That's not the worst one I've gotten. There are far worse ones than that. Kimiku from The Boys auditioned, fluent in Japanese and English, martial arts, and sword expert and gorgeous. Yeah, I saw pictures of that gal. Yeah, she would have been perfect for that too. But personally, I think her name's, it might be Mari off of Shogun. That girl, holy crap, that actress is incredibly like pretty and talented. Super incredible performance on Shogun. Shogun was one of those shows that at first I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but once you start watching it, it's like, oh my god, this show is awesome. Pokemon made a spin-off farming game 2 weeks after that. Palward made, yeah, I saw that, Lugia. Dude, there are so many things that have happened in the past week and a half that I have not had time to really cover. But yeah, there's so much of that. Female humans, of course, best animal. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not entirely wrong, at least. So, speaking of Ghost of Yote, apparently it's reviewing 4 points higher than Ghost of Tsushima, but 2025 has been so amazing for games that it's barely top 20 for the year. I don't know. I saw a lot of reports. I saw a lot of people, that Rhino the Bouncer guy, talking about how basically, oh, Ghost of Yote, it's number 2 on PlayStation pre-order store, blah, blah, blah. And you see that there are games on the chart with it, and it's like, it's up there with Borderlands 4, which has underperformed, and a game, like it wasn't even a soccer game. I can't remember what it was. And I'm like, there's nothing else out right now on PlayStation that people are lining up to buy. Like, Silksong was down at number 6. And I'm like, dude, just because it's doing well on the PlayStation Store, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think Ghost of Yote is probably going to do fine. It's probably going to make some money. But the fact that it's, you know, trending on the PlayStation Store when it's like the biggest PlayStation title to come out this year shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Like, this is not exactly like rocket science here. And why is everyone talking about Blueprints? This is a game here, Blueprints, that I never once have seen any gameplay of, and yet for some weird reason people are holding this Blueprints game up as like game of the year contender. I guess it's like a puzzle game or something. PlayStation has no games. Yeah, fair enough. No, man, they're getting Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they're getting Halo if they didn't already have Halo at some point, and Xbox is getting Helldivers. Like, I mean, hey, guess what? Exclusivity is gone. It's done. It doesn't exist anymore. FC 26. Oh, okay, okay. What's on Game Pass? The Pal World farming game is on. No, it's not a farming game. I thought it was a. Is it a farming game? Because there is farming in Pal World. Oh, Blueprints. Okay. It's all right, not goated. Good enough. Oh, fair enough. Hills versus Babyface and X-Ray Girl stream Blueprints for a while. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize the Blueprints was on Game Pass. I didn't know that at the time. I don't know. Puzzles are cool. I'm not the biggest puzzle game person. I like puzzles within my games that have other elements of like combat and, you know, role playing and stuff. Puzzles are fine within what they are, but like I don't like games that are just puzzle games typically. Then of course, like you got freaking Hades 2 that just came out, and of course Hades 2 is like the Wokie's wet dream. Yeah, I'm sure y'all remember Alyssa Mercante's articles talking about how Hades was the kind of horny we needed right now. Then you got images of Erika Ishii coming out on stage at TGS here. Oh god, this woman is so cringe. So incredibly cringe. Of course you got people posting these ones here of her quote, "I'm Antifa, so's my wife." Yeah. It's like, yeah, guys, this is not going away anytime soon. What are you confused about, Susano? Erika Ishii is the voice actress for Ghost of Yotei. She's a complete leftist lunatic, like lunatic activist. Ghost of Tsushima, 83 on Metacritic. Ghost of Yotei, 87. The thing is that these guys don't understand. Critic scores only go so far. Because again, audience scores and critic scores vastly differ. Oh, the Hades 2 comment. Dude, there was a shitload of articles that came out from people like Alyssa Mercante had a couple on Kotaku before she got fired, where basically they propped up Hades 2 as the game that everybody should love because they had wheelchair accessibility in the game because they put one of the gods in the wheelchair, made him big fat ass. The characters, they had the androgynous characters, the lesbian, gay characters. You had the bisexual characters. Basically, that they made everybody. I'd have to find the exact article. Hang on, give me a second. Let me get the exact. No, don't do that one. We don't need that one. Let me find the exact wording here. Because I haven't even bothered bringing up. Well, I haven't made any videos, but I haven't bothered bringing up Hades 2 in a while. Yeah, this was written by Alyssa Mercante, April of last year. Crazy. Hades 2 is the kind of hot we need right now. How did this woman ever have a job? I don't understand it. Supergiant Games has once again reminded us that they can make incredibly hot characters. It's because you have the androgynous Aphrodite, the muscle mommy, and the fat dude in the wheelchair. Vulcan in a chair is so dumb because he's a blacksmith and you got to put your weight into it. Yeah. Oh, Aquafina, my god, is the worst. She's awful. Aquafina is the absolute worst. Let me see here. Where were we at? So, I remember seeing this kind of crap about Assassin's Creed Shadows. You guys remember with Assassin's Creed Shadows, before the game came out, and everybody was trying to deflect from criticism about the game by saying, look what happens when you cut the bamboo. Look what happens when you cut the bushes. Look what happens when you cut the grass. So, I guess one of the highlights of Ghost of Yotei versus Tsushima is that they track you slicing the blades of grass, and so it leaves, you know, marring behind in the grass when you cut it, so that's cool. Completely unnecessary. It's, for me, not something that I need in my games. Aquafina may be the worst, but if you had to choose between her and Erika Ishii, I don't have to choose because there's a third option, and I'm not going to say it on stream. I can't. I'll get somebody checking on my mental health. Says in Ghost of Yotai, we can cut the grass when the sword grazes the ground. This is one of the numerous details that I review in the latest comparison with Ghost of Tsushima. Third generation Pokemon could do that. Dude, somebody pointed out that, oh yeah, I made my own meme here. I thought this was pretty good. Somebody pointed out you could do this in Zelda. Oh, Burner did. Cool gimmick. Yeah, cool, but completely unnecessary gimmick. Do you remember that Assassin's Creed Shadows also promoted for having the ability to cut bamboo? When they dedicate themselves to promoting this type of thing, is because the game is shit. You got it, DB Wild. You nailed it, man. Hey, Cage, that's a close one, dude. Oh yeah, you got Link here, Toon Link cutting grass, Joe Rogan losing his mind. Yeah. Marshall Bohemian says Western game devs will make a single pore on the character's ass visible, including simulated sweat and pimples, completely crashing anyone without a 5090 Ti that requires a 500 gigabyte install, but not actually make a good game with a good story. Facts. I mean, not to mention logically, this makes no sense. Why are you swiping a sword that low to the ground as to take a huge chunk of grass out? You do realize any uneven terrain or a pebble hits that during swing and you're effed. It's a retarded cosmetic implemented poorly as usual. I don't have a problem with that existing in the game, but I feel like it's completely unnecessary. Now, again, if it's a bush and it's in your way and you want to chop it down, that's a game mechanic that's been around forever. Swinging your sword against the ground and cutting grass, okay, maybe. I don't know. Right, Brown. So I don't think it's something that's going to detract from the game itself. Yeah, 500 gigabytes. Hey, Thomas. Oh my God. The biggest game I ever had to install, I think, was Stalker 2. If I recall correctly, Stalker 2 was like 160 gigabytes or something, and I couldn't even run the game on my computer. It's absolutely insane. What happened here? Oh, here we go. All right, so let's talk about this EA thing, because it's probably the biggest news to come out of like the last 48 hours in gaming. And this, the funny thing is, this is something that even though I've been pretty busy, pretty occupied, it was a big deal. Like, this was something I saw breaking yesterday, and it's gotten crazier for me the last couple of days here. Let me see here. Arc for You was way over 300 gigabytes. Was Arc that big? I haven't installed Arc on my computer in a long time. It was that large? Where's Call of Duty with DLC levels of gigabytes? Yeah, we'll see. It's a good question. I have no idea. I don't know what the new Call of Duty game with the file size is going to be. GTA 5? GTA 5. I didn't even try installing that. Never played it. I was lame.
Do I need to be liked?
Yo,
Absolutely
Smeg,
not.
buddy.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
Cheers, man.
I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked.
Oh, this stuff is terrible. Next time I'm gonna put alcohol in my own eggnog. This is rough, dude. 5 gifted, Smeg. Appreciate you, buddy. How you been? After all the DLC, it got that big. Okay. You know, the thing is, Arc might be unoptimized, but I never had problems running the game on my computer. It ran just fine for the most part. Smeg, dude, for real, appreciate you, man. I haven't been here. I've been busy with life, but knock on wood, we start getting moved in the next week or so. I should have everything set up within a couple weeks and be back to normal. So, Arc was huge and kept updating all the time at the start. It was a pain. Yeah, all I remember about Arc was I had a lot of fun until I didn't. Once I got my tech T-Rex murdered by a Allosaur. I think it was an Allosaur that killed him. And then my Therosaur, that I thought was pretty badass, also got destroyed by the same Allosaur. I was pissed off and I stopped playing the game. So, the game was fun until it wasn't, like I said. So for me personally, it was like once I started losing my shit in the game, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going to go capture more dinosaurs, man. I'm over it. With the texture pack, Indiana Jones is 145 gigabytes on your Xbox. Oof. Man, that's rough. All right. So the big news. I've got this article from GameFile. Says one of the world's biggest video game companies plans to sell to some of the world's most powerful people. Now, the funny thing is, this article I chose specifically because it words it in a very I would say non-offensive way. Still alludes to the fact that these people have a lot of pull without straight up calling them like Hitler or Nazis or whatever, right? Had a good position in the server and then got effed by Russians who imported OP creatures. Oh, see, I was playing by myself. I wasn't doing multiplayer. I can't even imagine playing multiplayer servers, dude. No way. 409 gigabytes right now. Oof. EA confirms deal to sell to Saudis and other investors for $55 billion going private. Now, I remember, this is really interesting because if you guys recall, Saber Interactive did the same thing, I believe, after they had been part of Embracer Group. They went and bought themselves back out, as I recall. Matthew Kark from Saber Interactive, Helldivers 2 and all that. No, not Helldivers. Not Helldivers, that's Arrowhead. I'm thinking of the Warhammer game. Space Marine 2. Pretty sure that they were the ones that had to gather up private investment funds and stuff to actually buy it themselves out. But it's a really interesting thing to see with the size of this company. Electronic Arts is massive. This is crazy. Broken by the Wall Street Journal on Friday, one of the world's top video game companies plans to sell to some of the world's most powerful people in a $55 billion deal that would take private the maker of Madden, The Sims, and Wing Commander. Does anybody play Wing Commander? And The Sims, we all know who plays The Sims, let's be honest. New owners would be Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, who got first billing in this morning's press release, plus the venture capital firm Silver Lake and Affinity Partners, an investment group run by Jared Kushner, son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump. The deal, which EA expects to close between April and July, would see all three partners invest $36 billion into EA, along with $20 billion in debt financing. This is one of the largest and most significant investments ever made in the entertainment industry, EA CEO Andrew Wilson told employees in a message that was distributed shortly after the deal was announced. I've got his message right here. I think that's this one right here. Never paid a single dime. The Sims, in theory, could have been fun. Once it really started attracting like the furry crowds and the Alphabet Mafia types, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. It's not something that appeals to me too much. Yeah, no, it's because Jared Kushner's part of the deal. That's why they're all pissed off. And because here's the irony of like left-wing logic is that they hate the fact that it's a Saudi Arabian group because Saudi Arabians are so mean to women and LGBT people. Yet you want to have infinite levels of Muslim immigrants coming to the West, and you don't think those people are going to come here and not like the amount of LGBT people we have here. It doesn't make any sense. So Andrew Wilson says, moments ago, we announced that the board approved an agreement for EA to be acquired by PIF. I'm just going to call it PIF. Silver Lake and Affinity. You can read the press release. Under the terms of the transaction, EA stockholders will receive $210 per share in cash. Ooh. Man, it'd be nice if you had some EA stock sitting around. After careful evaluation, our board concluded that this transaction is the best interest for our company and our stockholders. This moment is a recognition of your creativity, your innovation, and your passion. You've built some of the world's most iconic IPs, created stories that have inspired global communities, and helped shape culture through interactive experiences. Everything we have achieved and everything that lies ahead is because of you. We are entering a new era of opportunity. This is one of the largest and most significant investments ever made in the entertainment industry. Our new partners bring deep experience across sports, gaming, and entertainment. They are committed with conviction to EA. They believe in our people, our leadership, and the long-term vision we are now building together. Our mission at EA is to inspire the world to play, continues to guide everything we do. Our values and our commitment to players and fans around the world remain unchanged. That's kind of a riot, but whatever. With continued rigor and operational excellence, we can amplify the creativity of our teams, accelerate innovation, and pursue transformative opportunities that position EA to lead the future of entertainment. Together, we'll create experiences that are bold, expressive, and deeply connected to inspire generations of players around the world. I am excited to continue as I bet he is excited to continue as CEO, working alongside our leadership team to advance our strategy. United by our vision, we will deliver experiences that transcend platforms and empower players everywhere to create worlds, characters, and stories that are bold, interactive, and deeply connected. Thank you for your creativity, your commitment, and your passion. This is a historic moment, and with the support of our new partners, we are building a future together that is brighter than ever. So, this is going to be interesting to see. Obviously, this pissed off a lot of people. So, one of these things, in talking about the new owners, is that it is a group of people from Saudi Arabia, obviously. That is something that's concerning to a lot of people. If you look at like the way that a lot of investing is going in the last few years.
Do I need to be liked?
Yo,
Absolutely
Smeg,
not.
another
I
5.
like
Holy
to be-
crap,
do I
dude.
need to be
Chill.
liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked.
It's my first
Enjoy
stream
being
back,
liked.
man.
I have to be liked.
You gotta save them for another stream, man. Smeg, dude. Oh, 10 gifted, man. All right, you are cut off, but holy crap, thank you, dude. You are way too kind. I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just happy that I was able to sneak a stream in before I disappear for another week.
Do I need to be liked?
Yo,
Absolutely
1
not.
year.
I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
have to be liked.
Yay, 1 year. All the best, mate.
Wow, that was really underwhelming. Well, dude, holy crap, 1 year. I know, I think NS just hit 1 year. A few other people are close, if not at 1 year. It's crazy. I don't know where all the time went. I really don't. But, dude, I really appreciate the hell out of you guys. And not just for memberships, just for hanging out, just for being here. Especially when I've been in a very crazy state of life for like the last couple of weeks where I haven't been consistent because there's so much going on. And just knowing that if I come back and stream, there's a certain percentage of you guys who will show up, even if you can only hang for a minute. You know, it's cool. It's awesome. Glad to have all you guys here. Saudi government's investment in gaming, largely via the PIF, has been in overdrive for the past 4 years. January 2022, 1.5 billion of the esports organizations ESL and Faceit, as well as the creation of Savvy Games. So Savvy Games, this is the one that is actually invested into Embracer Group and owns a large portion of Embracer. So when all the stuff came up with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and the fact that they got bought out by Embracer, I kept saying, guys, here's the thing. You need to point your finger at the studio itself, not the involvement of Savvy Games Group and Embracer, because the studio made the choices that are in the game that a lot of people didn't like. Savvy Games Group is a Saudi Arabian group. There is very little diversity in that company. And I looked into all their crap. They talk a little bit about diversity, but they have zero DEI initiatives of any kind. So this will be interesting to see what happens. I'm not a fan of it, obviously, but it will be interesting to see with the large level of investment coming from these Saudi Arabian investors. I don't think games are going to get more woke or more unhinged with this kind of investing going on. I don't know. Of course, you can see right here it says, with Saudi Arabia's investments into gaming have come repeated pledges from Saudi, Savvy, and PIF officials that they won't interfere with the company's operations. Well, everybody does at some point. Madam Savvy, no. Different Savvy.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
I think it depends on who's actually in charge in Saudi Arabia. A good example is SNK is owned by Saudi Arabia, and they are doing good.
That's very true, and I think it does come down to a specific, like, person-to-person, company-to-company basis. But in general, I think with the large number of Saudi investors, it's kind of like how, in general, we've seen a lot of like the gacha games and the slop come out of Korea and stuff in China. And while it's nice to have attractive women, it sucks that all we're getting is like the same regurgitated, I don't want to say scam games, but if you look at like the user score reviews for like Mecha Break and First Descendant, yeah, the games on paper look nice, but they're just empty. They're just not there. The game is not being addressed in a way that makes the players want to come back and keep playing the game. But they have the right intentions. So I wonder if we're going to see kind of the same thing coming from like these Saudi investment groups once they actually have more of a say in how the studios actually conduct themselves and everything else. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. But thanks for the 5, Luigi. I appreciate you, dude. Put it this way, Drag Age Pronouns Guard would never have happened if they had owned the company. Very true. I think that's personally probably a very accurate thing to say. A bunch of adult visual novels. Dude, I saw something that somebody posted. I don't remember if it was her or Nure or something. I'm like, all right, guys, I gotta mute a couple of you guys for about 5 minutes here because the horny posting on Twitter is just unhinged. Oh, the J.K. Rowling, Emma Watson thing. I had that brought up, but I think that there's not enough time to get into that tonight too. Shooting feels fine, but it feels like a worse Warframe where they were not sure where to focus on guns or skills. First sentence just a mess, to be honest. And Mecha Break was good. The mech part of the game was good, but I think a lot of people are just straight up like, I'm sick of feeling like I'm getting the same slop when it comes to either the monetization or I don't know. So it says, let's see here. Player communities have nevertheless flinched at the kingdom's investments in gaming, given Saudi Arabia's human rights record. Here's where we have to have concern, guys. Critics see the government-funded gaming play in a similar light to the kingdom's investment into golf and boxing. Human Rights Watch states PIF investments in high-profile sports and entertainment events domestically and internationally are used to whitewash the country's abysmal human rights record. Let's see, 2022... Brian Ward, the CEO of Savvy Games Group, says, I'm not over there on an image makeover project. Ward said workers in town halls for the esports group Savvy had purchased grilled Ward and others about the LGBTQ rights and women's safety. I actually covered all this stuff talking about Savvy and Embracer. And basically they give like the non-answer. He says basically, oh no, we're going to let people do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, it's like there's going to be a lot of this shit that doesn't actually make it past them. Hopefully, we'll see. Saudi's also signed up a flag football tourney too. They did, didn't they, with Tom Brady? They're buying a lot of stuff. They have some golf tourneys as well. So I'm non-binary. Yeah, that's actually a pretty funny line. And I'm not the biggest fan of like the non-binary phrasing, but it's pretty good to be honest. Yeah, EA has a lot of games, a lot attached to it. Pretty insane. Battlefield 6, I think, is the most important one that we're going to see coming out here very soon. So it is going to be interesting to see how this has any effect on the game whatsoever. Monetization practice. I know we talked about this on Discord. There was concerns about how this is going to affect monetization of the game itself. Stephen Totillo, who wrote the article here on GameFile, actually compared the logos of Abstergo from Assassin's Creed Shadows. Not Shadows, oh my god, just Assassin's Creed. And this Jared Kushner involved Affinity Partners. And ironically, they're actually the same logo, which is pretty funny. This is kind of like, remember during COVID, when the Umbrella Corporation had the same logo as the lab where the virus was mysteriously cooked up? Can I just say it? I don't give a flying F about human rights. Hey, you're allowed to say whatever you want. I care about human rights, but I care about human rights in my country. I don't think that that's a crazy thing to say. Citizen rights are more important. I thought police was snack them up after Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard. PlayStation snatched them up. I'm like, police snacked them up? What are we talking about? There's not that much alcohol in this eggnog, I don't think. Don't care, not my country, happy to take their money. I mean, I think, Susanna, most of us probably kind of feel that way. It's like, it's one thing to say, are you supporting a company or a country or a government that is actively trying to undermine and destroy your whole way of life at home? It's another thing to say, is it a company in a country who might not agree with you on a lot of issues, but they're making a good product and it's not affecting your day-to-day life? I mean, it's just a difference situationally, you know? Natural rights, aka God-given rights. Oh, don't even get me started on... Oh my god, that's a whole nother... I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Samuel and I care about the problems in my country, not across the ocean. Right, and the thing is, if everybody thought about their own country first, we'd do a lot better off in this world, in my personal opinion. Don't they also have a Disney park or castle something there as well? I think so. I think so. Yeah, human rights are given and taken away by the nation state. Screw that. I'm fully on board with you there. So... Here's the fun part. Here's the fun part. You get to some of these other articles. The salt is so good in these situations. PC Gamer, you've got this one here. Former BioWare lead writer reads the runes on EA Saudi deal and speculates that guns and football are in and gay stuff is out, and the venerable RPG studio may be for the chop. Actually, I found this one after Cage sent it on Discord. It's absolutely awesome. The headline here is great. Who knows? Maybe the Crown Prince is a big FemShep fan. Probably not. I would say probably not. And so, of course, this has got a lot of people freaking out, thinking that, okay, we're not going to be able to put gay stuff in our game, right? Talking about the most appalling human rights abuses. I love how Saudi Arabia, a country that we are never fighting, a country that, to my knowledge, I don't think the Saudi princes are taking much money of like relief and aid from the U.S. and the Western world, like the situation with like Palestine, Gaza, other less fortunate countries and areas, we should say. And yet somehow they're so worried about the human rights offenses in Saudi Arabia and not mentioning Dubai, China, other places around the world that we have plenty of connections to. It's like anytime they bring it up, it's always, but the Saudis are so bad. It's like they're not worse than anybody else that is being mass imported over here into our country. Yeah, you posted this in Discord. I don't understand. There's something about Saudi Arabia specifically that makes them lose their mind. And I don't know what it is, because I kind of look at it and go, that's the Middle East over there. That's the desert. This is my country here. This is my home here. That's them over there. So I kind of do the us versus them mentality, where you just kind of lump all those countries in together. Some are richer, some are poorer. None of them are the U.S., right? But this continues to happen. This is not the first time I've seen articles and journalists talking about Saudi Arabia and their human rights record. And they're like, do you want to go look at the human rights record of the average like Pakistani or Palestinian? I don't understand. Think Saudi Arabia is conservative? I mean, I don't know. Are we talking Western conservative, traditionally conservative, religiously conservative? It depends on what you mean by that. I mean, technically, Islam is the most conservative of all religions that exists. You can't get more conservative than that woman over there has to cover herself from head to toe so that I don't lust after her. That's as conservative as you can possibly get in some ways. If we're just talking strictly from a modesty perspective, or from the man is up here and the woman's down here, if you're talking like that traditional hierarchy level of conservatism. So you would think that would be something that they would, hate across the board when it comes to like all the Islamic countries. But, left-wingers tend to do that, where they're like, oh, well, let's bring infinite numbers of them here, because by bringing them here, they'll magically be like us. It just doesn't work that way. But for some weird reason, Saudi Arabia is one of those ones that continues to come up. So, virtue signaling, yeah. I can't figure. I think it's because they're rich. I think it's because there's money. Maybe that's what it is. Probably because they look at Saudi and see rich Arabs, so they think bad man because rich man. And I don't think that makes the Saudis good or bad. I think it makes them Saudi Arabian. It just makes that they are what they are. It's like, it's not a matter of, I'm not trying to judge which ones are the good Muslims and which ones are the bad Muslims. I don't live there. Normally it's Qatar. Qatar is one that I haven't heard come up in a while. Let me see here. It's the biggest leverage buyout in history, meaning that this new EA is instantly saddled with $20 billion of debt and will face intense pressure. It's also the latest step in the Saudi Arabian investment fund's mission to sports wash the brutal regime by using its influence and ubiquity across entertainment industries to distract from some of the world's most appalling human rights abuses. Most appalling. I want to know how they rank the most appalling, because I could probably Google a story about like something happening in Somalia or Djibouti or South Africa somewhere or the Congo, and probably find a dozen stories more horrific than anything that they have coming out of Saudi Arabia. Like truly disgusting levels of deprivation, like worse, like these people aren't even human because of the things that they're capable of doing. But they continue to beat this drum that Saudi Arabia has the most appalling human rights abuses, They got one game I was interested in on a deep discount. Which game? I'm very curious now. Because I've got a dozen. I've got like maybe a dozen that I could buy that I'm not going to buy. Because I'll never play them. I'll never get around to it. What's the point? One line stuck with me as the crack team at PCG Towers discussed the deal. I wouldn't want to be sitting in a BioWare chair right now. The vibes around one of all-time great RPG studios have not been good in recent years, and the failure of Dragon Age Veilguard didn't persuade anyone that the studio is capable of surpassing contemporary greats like Baldur's Gate 3 or Disco Elysium. Go figure. Things that'd get me flagged if I brought them up in chat. Exactly. I'm like, but Saudi Arabia is the worst, and I'm not saying that they're good. It's like, I'm not even defending them, but it's just, it cracks me up when they act like, when it's convenient for them, that this is the most barbaric country on the planet. Earlier this year, the studio was apparently cut to the bone in a round of layoffs, though a new Mass Effect game remains in development for now. Everyone who's ever loved a BioWare game, which is surely an awful lot of us, is probably feeling quite gloomy about the studio's prospects. Why? It's not the same studio. It's not even the same people anymore. I don't even understand this. If they are the most abusive rights, then why are they... I mean, okay, so I mean, the argument for that, Lucio, would be that you can have an oppressive regime that treats people like crap, and that, again, communists, in a communist country, they could be economically poor in the country itself, but everyone in the government has the money. So it's like there's money there, but it's not getting to the people. I mean, I'd have to dig into like the actual structure of Saudi Arabia and how the government's set up and how the people, like the actual income levels and poverty and the abuse. Like I said, I don't know specifically which references they're talking about when it comes to like their human rights abuse record. I'm just saying, I know how evil the world is, and I've read plenty of horrible things that happen on a daily basis. But for some weird reason, they continue to beat the Saudi Arabian drum. For whatever reason. BioWare is already dead for people who actually like BioWare. Right. We're good in South Africa, but we have a terrible government. Well, truth, I'm talking about some of the stories I've heard about things that have happened to like the South African farmers and stuff. Has a lot to do with where in the world they are and what's there, right? So the conversation, imaginary conversation, goes something like this. Buyers, so your games, guns and football, yes. EA, mostly guns and football, yes. Buyers, no gay stuff, no politics we're not going to like. EA, haha, definitely not. Hey, could you give me 1 sec? I just need to shut down a studio real quick. I love that they have a problem with this. Can we be honest about something? He's going to wear a turban if he gets non-gay Dragon Age. That's hilarious, Tekla. That is awesome. I will have to tune in for a stream when he does that. It cracks me up that they look at this and say, look at this imaginary conversation. So for games, guns and football. Yes, mostly guns and footballs. No gay stuff, no politics we're not going to like. Definitely not. The reason for this, and you can agree, disagree with like the actual ideology behind it, the religion behind it, like their belief system, the structure of how they do things, whatever. If it makes money, then who's complaining? Like, honest to God, who's complaining? Games that appeal to a small majority or small minority of people who don't typically spend money on video games, but they're trying to spread the message and indoctrinate people, those games don't make money. Studios cannot survive making those games. So why wouldn't a studio, why wouldn't an investment firm, a company, any of these people that are in charge of these studios try to entice their developers to make games that are going to make money? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is this supposed to be a shock, right? We don't care much for China, but they've pumped out some pretty good games lately. Right, DB? And there are people who are not going to buy games from Chinese studios. In fact, I'm pretty sure Lucius said before that he doesn't want to buy games that are from these studios in China. And if that's a personal moral opinion you have, again, more power to you. If everyone has a personal reason for why and who they spend their money with, that's for everyone to determine themselves. I just find it funny that Saudi Arabia is like the Western journalist punching bag every time these conversations come up, because they're like, oh, we can't let these Muslims control our video game studios, but all other Muslims from other countries are magically good, and we should bring them all over to the West, but not these Muslims. The Muslims with money are bad. Oh my God. Mouse Game's banning anyone that mentions it. Dude, it's like you have remote access to my computer and you've gone through all my tabs. I've got that brought up over here, but personally, there's too much random information with that Winter Burrow game. And if I'm going to be honest, this Winter Burrow Sweet Baby Inc. attached game doesn't matter. it's like Dustborn. Yes, it's good for clicks, good for content. Actually, I don't even know if anybody's watching videos about this. I don't know if anyone's made videos about this Winter Burrow game. But it looks like the kind of game that's going to have 5 people playing it. So it's funny to point and laugh at, but who's actually going to be playing this game? Like, is it even available? Let me take a look here real quick while I'm thinking about it. And that doesn't mean people shouldn't, obviously be aware of what's in it and obviously ridicule them for it, especially if they had connection to Sweet Baby Inc. But it's not like Wolverine. It's not like an X-Men game or a Spider-Man game where it's like, oh my god, this is going to have a much broader audience. This is a cozy game that has a free demo out. Let me mute this a second. Comes out November 12th. From Pine Creek and Noodle Cake. Whatever the hell that is. Doubt is going to sail. We need kids-focused games, which not know the story yet. I have no opinion on it. Right. Probably gets more promotions from people pointing at it than Sweet Baby Inc. has normally. Right. I mean, it's a cozy game. I mean, it's kind of a niche audience. I mean, there are popular cozy games, but like there are people that were like, oh, this looks totally up my alley, and I'm like, really? This to me looks awful. Like I'm having my pirate software moment where I'm like, this is shit. Like the art style, the animation looks cute if it was like a picture book, or like maybe an animated series or something. I'd find it cute and likable. But I've played a handful of cozy games. A year ago, I got a key to a cozy survival game, and it just wasn't as good as a real survival game. It's like, oh, it's like a survival game, but everything's easy. What the hell's the point of that? Talking about human rights and hiring selectiveness, here comes SBI. Exactly. Yeah, Noodle Cake, there you go. What matters if they impact the development of the game? Sure. My point is more like I just don't even know that anybody's even going to be buying the game, So yeah, talk about it, throw it on a list, tell people that SBI was involved, sure. But for me personally, this isn't a game that I imagine is going to have more than 100 people playing it. Power World's a cozy game with guns. I kind of feel like Power World is more than a cozy game, only because there are like high level enemies that will kick your ass at times. It is not a turn your brain off and just do mindless tasks kind of game. It's not super easy. It's simple. It's like a simplified survival game, but I wouldn't call Power World cozy. I want this game to eat my entire ass. Yes, my entire ass. I think it looks cute for like I said, like if it was an animated series or something. I like it's nostalgic. I like the animation. I just don't really care for it as a game. Like, why would I want to play that? So the other article that I think I shared this one on Discord earlier, about the Saudi Arabian acquisition of EA. The internet reacts to EA's $55 billion sale to some of the worst people around. I just love that phrasing. This is from Kenneth Shepard. And if I remember Kenneth Shepard, I do believe. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a handsome one. Yeah. This is pretty much, this whole article is just a bunch of people on Twitter freaking out. And it's mainly because of the fact, like I said, that it's Saudi Arabians and Jared Kushner. Jason Schreier actually said something slightly intelligent. Says a lot of people are understandably focused on the Saudi Arabia and Kushner part of this, but the far bigger immediate impact will come from the new private EA being on the hook for $20 billion in debt. That could mean mass layoffs, more aggressive monetization, and other big cost-cutting measures. I think that that's at least a fair concern to have. people being worried about having less gay crap in their game, I think is hilarious. Because I'm like, guys, if it makes money, that's all that matters, right? Things that make money don't result in people losing jobs typically. Not if it makes enough money. Then you have Battlefield Bulletin saying, according to a new report from the Financial Times, EA's new owners will rely on AI as a way to reduce production costs and increase EA's profits in the coming years, with the stated goal of absorbing the colossal $20 billion debt associated with the acquisition. And of course, Schreier claimed this debt could mean cost cutting, right? So Zach Asmongold coming back again from the top ropes. This man has had some banger tweets the last few days. Says, development assisted by AI is the future. It doesn't matter how many furry artists cry, it's inevitable. Anyone fighting against AI will in 20 years look just as stupid as the people who fought against the internet or against computers. And I think that there is some truth to that. I don't think relying on AI to do all your work for you is a smart thing, but I think it definitely, there is going to be some level of AI used to cut corners that people just have to accept is going to be part of life, right? Jason Cryer, yeah. Yeah, it could be pushing like really crazy, stupid monetization in Battlefield 6 if we're not careful. Who knows? If you're on Blue Sky, I can't take you seriously. I'm on Blue Sky, but I have my dummy account, so that's it. It's just to spy on people. Ironically, I was checking some stuff because I have my Saudi Arabian PlayStation store that I made during this whole Kingdom Come Deliverance thing. And I forgot what the username was, and I actually clicked on this. And apparently, when I made my PlayStation dummy account, it was Saudi Prince 69420 was the username that I selected. I don't know why. I have no idea why that was the one I selected. But apparently, my PlayStation Saudi Arabia username is Saudi Prince 69420. So, Zubitech the Super Pony. I don't know who all these people are, man. I don't pay attention. All I know is accounts like Rhino, Bouncer, Synth Potato. These guys, these are the guys here that are like massive shills. They'll shill for anything. Once in a while, they'll have an honest take if it's not like a big controversial take, whatever. But most of the time, they are pretty much like just gonna shill for crap. Hey, Black Cat. As long as more unqualified developers become homeless, I'm for it. Hey, nobody who's bad at their job deserves to have their job just because they need a job. Go find a different job. McDonald's is hiring, and they're paying very well. I mean, McDonald's, hell, they're paying a lot more money than they were 20 years ago. That's for damn sure. Are Saudis like Nazis now? That's kind of what it feels like. It's what it, and again, I'm not going to stick up for people who I don't know. And I have no reason to. All I know is it's really weird to me that for some weird reason, Saudi Arabia is like the modern like Third Reich to some of these people. Given how women in Saudi Arabia dress, you'd never see me coming. Oh, man. What do they call those? Not sheet ninjas. Crap. I gotta work on my racism. First it was Tencent, now Saudis, as if they only want certain companies to own all this stuff. We just want good games. Right. And like I said before, I'll say it again. I care a great deal about not supporting people who want your life destroyed, who want to end society as we know it over here, who want our way of life to change and all this other stuff, right? So that's why you reject the investment firm. Sorry, my brain is foggy. I'm tired. The consulting companies, the narrative design companies, all these places that want to, inject the message and everything into your games, right? That's why you tell them to go screw off. And when it comes to other countries like China and stuff, and you know that China is trying their hardest, like other countries, to undermine the West. Guess what? We're doing the same thing to them. That's the way this game is played, unfortunately. I live here, so I care more about here than China. That's just that bias that I'm going to have. But at the end of the day, do I care if a company in China makes a good product and I purchase that product as long as, the product works? I guess not. It just sucks that so much of our money is going to China when China is actively being controlled by their government trying to destroy our way of life. But it's like, yeah, when you find out that some actor or some musician, somebody said today on Twitter, talking about this Erica Ishii stuff, because again, Erica Ishii, complete lunatic, and somebody is like, I thought conservatives and right wingers were supposed to be able to separate the art from the artist, and I'm like, as somebody who grew up in the early 90s, born in the mid 80s, we always had to separate the art from the artist because most entertainers have always been left leaning. They could talk about their politics, they could talk about their beliefs, and they were always on the cutting edge of being progressive. And they were always on the right side of things. And if you were a conservative, you just accepted that all the entertainers are all liberal and you're just the bigoted, nasty, whatever, right? At the same time, it's like you accepted that they were going to have different opinions and you still watched their movies, you still supported them, you bought the album, you listened to the song, you watched the movie, whatever. But Cage, you freaking gooner, man. Oh my god. Has there ever been an instance where someone tried to overmind someone? Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Where is this at? Where is this? Come on. It's not working, damn it. Oh my god, my soundboard's not working. I'm so mad right now. Why is this not working? Come on. There's nothing there. What? Oh my god. It's because it's not on this. I don't know. I don't know why it's broken, but it's broken. Anyways. Yeah, Black Cat, exactly. Exactly. So what I'm tired of is that for years we were told, separate the art from the artist, separate the art from the artist. Don't take their beliefs so seriously. Don't take it personally. It's like you can only be told by somebody how much they hate you, how much they despise you, and how much they want you basically to have your life ruined before you just kind of lose the incentive to give them your money. And especially then when the product suffers, right? Nothing. It would be less funny. Actually, it would be more funny if it wasn't true. I'll have to figure out why the soundboard's not working. No, so at some point, you need to be entitled to say, you know what? I am done separating the art from the artist because I am tired of being told what a complete piece of crap I am by people who truly hate me and they're expecting me to give them my money anymore. So I'm at that point. Like, look, you can still, like, I'll still listen to an Elton John song or Trapped. I think Trapped is one of those bands from like the early 2000s that had some pretty hot takes about Trump. They still have some banger songs. I won't skip a song on the radio because guess what? I enjoy the song. Will I go and buy an album from them? Will I go see them in concert if I know that they hate me? No. And everyone can make that choice for themselves. So I think we're all at that point where people need to start deciding, like, even if it's not an official boycott, just start thinking about who you're giving your money to and stop giving people who hate you so much grace. Stop being like, oh, separate the art from the artist. It's okay. Don't, no cancel culture. Don't, just turn the other cheek. How many cheeks do you have? I've only got 2, right? How long can you keep turning the other cheek? That's what I want to know. Like, how many times? I look for tattoos to put tattoos in themselves, and I bring my skin and knife. Ouch. You stay away from my tattoos, man. I like mine where they are. If you hate me, then no, I won't support you. Right. I think that's a very normal, valid take to have. So glad the tide is turning that their shit doesn't work anymore. I agreed, dude. 100%. Oh, Mark Ruffalo ruins everything he's in. Not just because he's a lunatic, but because I hate his acting anyways. What were we calling cheeks? Oh my god. All right, guys. I'm gonna hit the hay. And yeah, I like I said, it's up to everybody. It's up to everyone on their own to make the decisions for how they spend their money, what they can tolerate, how much of whatever it is that they'll put up with before they finally say, you know what, I've been the punching bag. I've played fair. I've played nice. Turning the other cheek is for personal insults, not for people who want you murdered. I mean, exactly, Black Cat. That's kind of how I look at it. And that's where people are like, oh, but this is just right-wing cancel culture. And I'm like, you know, guys, cancel culture was a thing when people were getting fired for an edgy tweet they made when they were 17, 10 years ago. That was cancel culture. Cancel culture was Gina Carano saying, come on, let's stop calling people Nazis, while Pedro Pascal, her co-star, was calling people Nazis, and she's the one that got fired and he didn't. That was cancel culture. An hour after a dude gets assassinated, gets his neck blown out, people are celebrating it, wishing death on other people, and we say, you know, we've had enough. But then it's like, oh no, you're expected to be the bigger person, and it's like, okay, I can be the not so big person right now. I'm okay with that. You guys killed the nice guy. You guys killed the bigger person. I never claimed to be Charlie Kirk. I never claimed to be the bigger person. Tend to do consequence culture. Yeah, fair. I think that's a fair point too. But again, consequence culture is a term that was dubbed by the left when they wanted to deflect from what was actually happening. So again, reap what you sow. It is what it is. And the funny thing is, they're like, well, what are you going to do when the left is back in power? But they already did that. We already dealt with that from 2010 to 2000 whatever. Like when people were getting canceled, it's because they already had the power. We've already lived through that. This is nothing new. All right, guys. I don't know if in the near future I'll have anything coming out on the channel, whether it's a live stream or a video, but appreciate you guys for hanging. I really appreciate you guys for showing up, even though I've been kind of ghosting y'all. It wasn't intentional. I love you guys. It's just had so much going on. I just could not even mentally get this done. But anyways, guys, thank you all. I am going to get some sleep. Yeah, same bird. Same bird, and I'm just going to flap my wing as hard as I can right now. So, all right, guys, take it easy. I will see you when I see you. I'll try to keep updates either on Discord or YouTube about how things are going. So, some from the phone update vids. Oh, man. Oh,